Hello, hello. Okay, I wanted to make a quick video on sizing. So sizing is so important to me personally. I know when I bought my first rosary wrap bracelet, I seriously researched for weeks. Like I was creeping on people's posts like, oh, does that size look like it would fit me? Because the size chart gives you like a range of inches like on most companies that you buy from, but for me I just like I couldn't really visualize how that would fit on my wrist, and I didn't like that I couldn't actually try it on. So anyway, I know for me personally, I can't stand when a bracelet is too big and it just falls really far down my arm. Every time I move my arm up, it's just annoying and it's probably going to make me not wear it. So assuming that's as big of a deal for others, I wanted to share this video so that you can get an idea for what size you might be. So if you have a measuring tape, like an actual sewing measuring tape, or if you even just have a ruler, you can get creative and use your phone charger, wrap it around, and then lay it flat, use the ruler. You can figure out your wrist circumference. I had to think about that for a second. Figure out your wrist circumference. So mine is exactly 6 inches right here. And I probably have pretty average wrist size. Like, I don't feel like maybe they're smaller-ish. It's pretty average looking. I mean, you can tell. Like, here's my wrist. They're 6 inches. So this is a 6-inch wrist. And I'm going to show you the different sizes that I have. And you can kind of just see how they fit on me. But also, I will include on the sizes like, hey, this size fits pretty much 6 to 6.5 inch wrist. This size fits such and such. Okay, so going through, I'm actually going to start by showing you the kid sizes because I do have these beautiful little kid single decade rosary bracelets as well. So really the only two sizes here are that I have a toddler size, which is very tiny and dainty. This fits my almost 4-year-old. So this would probably be like your 3 and 4-year-olds, maybe 5, based on if they're like smaller or regular average size. And then this is the just youth sizes. So you can tell even within having the same number of beads, some of them just run a little bit bigger. So I might include in the descriptions like kid size runs a little big, kid size runs a little big. Like that's what I would say on these two. And then these two obviously run a little smaller. And that's just based on a little bit of variety of using like a different in-between bead. These ones are like a diamond looking and they're a little bit smaller than the silver bead. So that's why these things all vary a little bit. And I just really just want you to love the size and the fit, especially if it's for your kiddo. You don't want it to be big or anything like that. So those are the kid sizes, toddler, kid. And like I said, the slight variation in kid, I'll just mention in the description on which ones like run barely big. Okay, so for the adult sizes, so you have the single decade rosary bracelets and then the 5-decade rosary bracelets. So what I'm wearing right now in the 5-decade rosary bracelets is a size small on both of these. So I really can't go smaller than a small. There's not like an X small to fit this tight, because this is the smallest bead size and I can't do less than 10 Hail Marys for 5 decades. So that's just as small as the adult bracelet is going to run, is the small. And even that, this is why it's a little bit complicated. Some of the colors I can't make in a small because the beads are bigger than these beads. So I'll get to that when I get to the adult large. But just so you know, I can't do like an adult X small. Now the single decade, this is actually fitting really tight on my wrist. The single decade, I can do an X small because I just have a little more wiggle room on like how many, of these I put. So this is an X small of the decade rosary. So the decade rosary is going to come in X small, small, medium, large, whatever. I can do pretty much anything on that. So this is the X small for the decade rosary. And the 5-decade rosary starts as small. Here's 2 more of the smalls. And then goes to a medium. So you can just see this sits a little bit lower. And then beyond the medium, I have the large. So this just hangs about that much lower. So for me personally, I wouldn't be able to stand wearing one that was this size. It's just so far up my arm as far as moving your arm up and down and having it slide. The medium I could probably wear, But the most comfortable, of course, is going to be this size small. So hopefully that helps you understand small, medium, large. And then again, due to the bead variation, this is not even with 3 Hail Marys. This just goes right into 10 Hail Marys of the first decade. So if you needed like an extra large or an extra extra large, I can be totally flexible with any color, making it bigger, because I can always add, either I would start with adding the 3 Hail Marys, or I can add more of the in-between beads, but I can't do any smaller than the smallest size that I offer. So this one that is in a large, as beautiful as it is, I can't do this in a medium or a small, because I just made it as few beads as possible, and it's a large just because of the size of it. So I hope that helps. I'm not going to make this any longer than it needs to be. But if you ever have questions about making something a little bigger or a little smaller, you know, just feel free to ask, obviously, and I'll see what I can do based on what I have and go from there. But I hope that helps understanding what size you might be. All right. Thank you. Bye.